I'm Addi Banks. What can you believe from the modern day media? How much confidence does major news outlets inspire for credible, honest reporting? What if we said what we meant? As I review news stories daily, I find myself questioning agendas and truth telling. Worldwide, media outlets have received failing grades for integrity and balanced presentation. Therefore, I begin this new series of reports with an article about straight talk in the news. And this is my report. The real reason the Dutch are so unbelievably rude. Ben Cates, April 4th, 2022. Ben Coates, a writer living in the Netherlands with his Dutch wife, wrote about straight talk there from his perspective. He states that the Netherlands is a wonderful place to live. The cities are beautiful, the beaches glorious, the public service is excellent, and the beer tasty. There's just one problem, though. People are unbelievably rude. Rude? How is that a good thing to live around? Until he explains further that to them, being brutally honest is expected. In a business meeting, at work, at the bar or pub. If you present something they think is half crazy, they will say so. The article reads, I remember once excitedly telling a Dutch friend about a new book I was working on, carefully setting him up to chime in with encouragement and moral support. It sounds very boring, he said, before walking away. I don't think anyone will read it. But the reputation of the Dutch, he states, is that of a sunny and welcoming people, famed for their diplomacy and deal making. However, if you spend much time in the Netherlands, you'll quickly realize straight talking is ubiquitous there. As much a part of the national culture as bicycles and unpronounceable place names. Coates writes that American politeness strikes most Dutch people as absurdly insincere, while the British tendency to hedge, prevaricate, and bluster is borderline offensive. To Dutch eyes, being blunt is not a sign of weakness, but a badge of honor. The right wing politician, Wim Forten, famously declared to widespread acclaim, I say what I think and I do what I say. Wow. What if we could trust people to live that way? Coates writes that the habit of directness is rooted in Dutch history and geography. Holland doesn't have mountains, he quotes the novelist Cees Nootboom. Everything out in the open. No mountains, no caves, nothing to hide, no dark places in the soul. The country was founded on Calvinist values of honesty and transparency and thrived during the Golden Age partly by serving as a refuge for rebels and innovators who were unwelcome elsewhere. The constant need to defend against flooding also has a profound impact. with one person's land at risk if another failed to maintain their dike. It was essential that decisions be made collectively. In a word, the Dutch depend on each other for survival. The whole system depends on everyone feeling free to speak their mind. And when you're always busy building dikes, it helps to call a spade a spade. There's endless efforts to reach consensus that frustrates outsiders. Yet, this is paired with informality. This is a country where many wear jeans to the office, and even royalty often cycle to work. Equality is prized, hierarchies are flat, and acting superior is a cardinal sin. In that context, speaking one's mind seems not only necessary, but natural. If you don't like something, why not just say so? Wait a minute. Consider these two things first. In the internet age, saying what you want has become a new generation excuse to be offensive and disruptive, stirring up trouble and attracting attention. Secondly, needing to please in your conversation and creates low-level anxiety that becomes a way of life, like in Britain for Coates, constantly calibrating their behavior to fit in with the crowd and avoid causing offense. Plain speaking in American society can be deemed high horse pretension. However, that is precisely the tone that I will attempt, measured with a good dose of respect and consideration. There are too many issues, truths that need exposure that is necessary to negotiate understandings. Therefore, our world must demand this and expect nothing less. Are you ready for straight talk about pros and cons of migrants overwhelming stable countries and resentments that result? Straight talk about how people are manipulated by traffickers to seek better lives elsewhere, even when they pay with their money and lives. How about straight talk about how everybody puts their group first and discriminates against all other groups? How we teach our children to prefer legacy homelands even while living elsewhere. War profits some and is encouraged. Which side do we support based on limited media presentation? And we will take a closer look at white European refugees as opposed to people of color refugees that has been so much in the news. I will report on news articles for two reasons. They are reality, not make-believe, and there are hard truths in them to be learned in order to correct the directions of humankind if we desire better lives for everybody. Understand Homeland rules of preservation. All ethnic groups must prioritize their needs first for survival. Learn more about Homeland at everyhomeland.com. Understand race and ethnic relations at letstalkrace.com. Find the like-named YouTube channels. Subscribe.